Dear students, in today's class, let us take one more problem on royalty accounts. Your problem is already written here. Just we'll go through what is given in the problem, try to understand. Then after that, we can prepare the necessary accounts. Okay, let us see what is given in the problem. Indian company took a mine on lease at a royalty of rupees 4 per ton of iron ore raised with a minimum rent of rupees 50,000 per annum. Here, Indian company has entered into an agreement with the landlord and has agreed to pay rupees 4 per ton of iron ore extracted. To whom? To the landlord. And it was also agreed to pay rupees 50,000 as minimum rent every year in case if the actual royalty is less than the minimum rent. Next one is each year's excess of minimum rent or royalties is recoverable out of the royalties of the next 2 years. This information is given with regard to the short workings. In case if there is a short working in a particular year, such short working can be recovered out of the excess royalties of the next 2 years. Next one is in the event of strike, the lease provided that the actual royalties earned would discharge all the rental obligations for that year. What is the meaning of this? In case if there is a strike in the company, in that year, whatever actual royalty comes, that actual royalty is to be taken as the minimum rent in that year. Therefore, here question of short working doesn't arise. Suppose if the actual royalty is rupees 10,000 and 10,000 is to be taken as the minimum rent, and in case if 20,000 is the actual royalty, then 20,000 is to be taken as the minimum rent in that particular year. That is why we have to calculate the actual royalty in that year, then that amount is to be taken as minimum rent. The output of the first 6 years is given here. In the first year, 8,000 tons of minerals were extracted. In the second year, 12,000, and in the third year, 16,000, fourth year, 20,000, and in the fifth year, strike period is there. Because of that reason, you can see here the output has, gone down to 9,000. Next one is in the sixth year, 14,000 tons of iron ore was extracted. Then with the help of this information, we have to prepare royalty account, short workings account, and landlord account. Before proceeding to the preparation of royalty account, landlord's account, and short workings account, what we have to do in royalty accounts? First, we have to prepare the table or the chart showing the calculation of royalty and short workings. That is why let us prepare table showing the calculation of royalty payable to the landlord. You have already studied how to prepare this table. First one is the year column. Year we write. Next one is the output in tons, right? After that we write actual royalty. Then next column is minimum rent. This is also called as dead rent. Minimum rent. Next one is short workings. In short workings, this column will give the details of deficit. If short working is recovered, that also we write here, recovered. Next one is irrecovered, and last column is amount payable to whom? To the landlord. Okay, let us write the years 1995. Next one is how many tons were extracted? 8,000 tons. That also I write. Next one is in the year 1996. 1996, 12,000 tons. In the year 1997, 16,000 tons. Next one is 1998, 20,000 tons. 1999, I write here strike, 9,000 tons. And 2000, 14,000 tons. This is the output. Now what is the royalty? Royalty is rupees 4 per ton of iron ore raised or extracted. Rupees 4 per ton. Simply what we have to do? To the output, we have to multiply with rupees 4. 8,000 into 4, it comes to rupees 32,000. Next one is 12 into 4, 48,000. Next one is 16 into 4, 64,000. Next one is 20 into 4, rupees 80,000. Next one is 36,000. Next one is, it comes to how much? 56,000, right? 56,000. Now we have to compare this minimum rent with the actual royalty. ಇಲ್ಲಿ ನಾವೇನ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು? ಆಕ್ಚುಯಲ್ ರಾಯಲ್ಟಿ ಎಷ್ಟಿದೆ ಅದರ ಜೊತೆಗೆ ಮಿನಿಮಮ್ ರೆಂಟ್ ಅನ್ನ ಕಂಪೇರ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು. ಒಂದು ವೇಳೆ ಆಕ್ಚುಯಲ್ ರಾಯಲ್ಟಿ ಕಡಿಮೆ ಇದ್ರೆ ಮಿನಿಮಮ್ ರೆಂಟ್ ಕೊಡಬೇಕು. ಇಲ್ಲಪ್ಪ ಹೆಚ್ಚಿಗಿದೆ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದ್ರೆ ಹೆಚ್ಚಿನ ದುಡ್ಡನ್ನ ನಾವೇನ್ ಮಾಡಬಹುದು? ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಲ್ಯಾಂಡ್ ಲಾರ್ಡ್ ಗೆ ಕೊಡಬಹುದು. ವಾಟ್ ವಿ ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಟು ಡೂ ಹಿಯರ್? ವಿ ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಟು ಕಂಪೇರ್ the minimum rent with the actual royalty. If the actual royalty is less than the minimum rent will be paid. And in case if the excess, in case if the actual royalty is more than the minimum rent, then excess amount will be given to the landlord. Okay, minimum rent is given here. You write rupees 50,000, 50,000, 50,000, 50,000. See, in the first 4 years, minimum rent will be same, 50,000, 50,000, 50,000, 50,000. But in the fourth year, not in the fourth year, in the fifth year, strike was there. Because of that reason, you see, actual royalty is rupees 36,000. Therefore, what we have to do? As per the information given in the problem, we have to reduce the minimum rent to rupees 36,000. It means whatever actual royalty is there, that amount is to be taken as the minimum rent in that year. That is why in the year 1999, the minimum rent comes to rupees 36,000, which is equal to the actual royalty. Again, in the year 2000, that is in the 6th year, as usual, the minimum rent remains same. Rupees 50,000 is to be taken. Only during the period of strike, minimum rent is to be reduced. But in other years, rupees 50,000 is to be taken. Okay, now simple thing, we have to compare here and find out the deficit. See, actual royalty is 32,000, minimum rent is rupees 50,000. Therefore, shortage is there. How much? Rupees 18,000. Rupees 18,000. This is the deficit. In this year, short working is there, or actual royalty is less than the minimum rent. Therefore, here landlord will get rupees 50,000. Next one is in the second year, you see again actual royalty is less than the minimum rent. Here also deficit is there, rupees 2,000. It means here Indian company will pay rupees 50,000 to whom? To the landlord. Actual royalty is 32,000, 50,000 is given. Therefore, here Indian company has paid rupees 18,000 from its pocket. Next one is in the second year also short working is there, rupees 2,000. Instead of paying rupees 48,000, again company has paid to the landlord rupees 50,000. Therefore, company has suffered a loss. Here also loss is there, rupees 2,000. That is the extra amount has been given. Next one is You see, this problem clearly stated that in case of short workings, such short workings can be recovered out of the excess royalties of the next 2 years. In the year 1995, in the first year, the total short working is how much? Rupees 18,000. This 18,000 can be recovered out of the excess royalties of the next 2 years. Means the year 1997 is the last year to recover the short workings of the year 1995. Okay. Now, actual royalty here is rupees 64,000 in the third year and 50,000 is the minimum rent. Now, rupees 14,000 is called as excess royalty. Excess amount is there. Excess how much? 14,000. Why this amount is called as excess? Because landlord will not accept less than 50,000. Minimum 50,000 should be given to him. ಇದಕ್ಕೆ ನಾವು ಎಕ್ಸೆಸ್ ಅಂತ ಯಾಕೆ ಕರಿತೀವಿ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದ್ರೆ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಲ್ಯಾಂಡ್ ಲಾರ್ಡ್ ಹೊಲದ ಮಾಲೀಕ ಏನ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾನೆ 50,000ಗಿಂತ ಕಡಿಮೆ ತಗೊಳ್ಳೋದಿಲ್ಲ. ಅದಕ್ಕಾಗಿ ಅವನಿಗೆ 50,000 ರೂಪಾಯಿ ಕೊಟ್ಟ ನಂತರ ಏನ್ ಬ್ಯಾಲೆನ್ಸ್ ಉಳಿತದಲ್ಲ ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ನಾವು ಏನಂತ ಕರಿಬಹುದು ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಎಕ್ಸೆಸ್ ಅಂತ ಕರಿಬಹುದು. ಓಕೆ, this is the excess royalty in the third year. Okay, now what is to be done? 14,000 is to be written in the recovery column, 14,000. Then the remaining amount of rupees 4,000 is to be written in the irrecovered column because this is the last year to recover the short workings of the first year. Because of that reason, 4,000 is to be treated as loss to the Indian company. Now, amount payable to the landlord is rupees how much? 50,000. Next one is in the year 1998, you see actual royalty is 80,000 and 50,000 is the minimum rent. Rupees 30,000 is called as excess royalty. What is this? This is the excess royalty. Only excess royalty can be applied for the recovery of short workings. Now you see here in the year 1996 only 2,000 was the short working. How much? Rupees 2,000. Now in order to recover this amount of rupees 2,000, next 2 years time is there. That is why 1998 or the fourth year, this is the last year to recover the short workings of the second year. ಮುಂದಿನ 2 ವರ್ಷಗಳಲ್ಲಿ ಮಾತ್ರ ಅದನ್ನ ರಿಕವರ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಳ್ಬೇಕು. ಈಗ 1998 ನಲ್ಲಿ 4ನೇ ವರ್ಷದಲ್ಲಿ 30,000 ರೂಪಾಯಿ ನಮಗೆ ಏನಿದೆ ಎಕ್ಸೆಸ್ ರಾಯಲ್ಟಿ ಇದೆ. ದಟ್ ಈಸ್ ವೈ ವಿ ಕ್ಯಾನ್ ಈಸಿಲಿ ರಿಕವರ್ ದಿಸ್ ಅಮೌಂಟ್. In the recovery column, you put rupees 2,000 and record column dash. See, after recovering rupees 2,000, whatever the actual royalty is there, that amount is given to the landlord. See, 80,000 is the actual royalty and 2,000 is the amount recovered and remaining balance of rupees 78,000 goes to the landlord. Next one is in the year 1999, you see actual royalty and minimum rent both are same. That is why question of short working doesn't arise here. You put dash. Then how much amount is to be given here to the landlord? Rupees 36,000. Whatever the minimum rent, whatever the actual royalty is there, that amount is to be given to the landlord in the year 1999. Next one is in the year 2000, there is no recovery of short workings. Whatever actual royalty is there, that has to be given here. Rupees 56,000 to whom? To the landlord. 56,000 is given to the landlord. This is the way how we prepare royalty chart. See, once the royalty chart is prepared, easily we can prepare the necessary accounts. Which accounts we have to prepare here? First one is the royalty account. Next one, short workings account. And the third one is landlord's account. Okay, you write in the books of Indian company, royalty account. Royalty account. If you remember the journal entries, easily you can prepare accounts. Royalty account we are preparing. I also put here short workings account. Short workings account. You write debit and credit. Next one is here. Year you write particulars amount in rupees. Year particulars amount in rupees. Next one is landlord's account. Landlord's account. Problem is very simple. Try to understand the concept. Once you understand how to prepare the table, then remember few entries. You can easily prepare the ledger accounts. Okay, which is the first journal entry? When the royalty is payable to the landlord in the first year, what journal entry we have to pass? In case if there is a short working, that time royalty account is debited, short workings account is debited and landlord's account is credited. That is why I write the year here 1995 to landlord account, opposite accounts name I am writing here, to landlord's account. I am posting the first journal entry. Royalty account is debited with the amount of actual royalty rupees 32,000. Short workings account is also debited and landlord's account is credited. Landlord's account. Here short working is rupees how much? Rupees 18,000. And I am crediting landlord's account 1995. I put by royalty account. By royalty account. What is the actual amount of royalty in the year 1995? 32,000. Next one is by short workings account. By short workings account rupees 18,000. This is the first journal entry. We posted to royalty account, short workings account and landlord's account. Next journal entry is for the payment of royalty amount to the landlord. How much amount was paid? Rupees 50,000. In the year 1995, rupees 50,000 was given to the landlord as a royalty. Therefore, what journal entry is to be passed here? Landlord is the receiver of the benefit. Therefore, landlord's account is debited and he is going to receive what? Cash. Therefore, cash account is to be credited. Cash goes out from the business. How much? Rupees 50,000. This is the second journal entry for the payment of royalty. Next, third journal entry is royalty account is closed by transferring the balance to the profit and loss account. I told you royalty is a charge to the profit and loss account. Therefore, at the end of the accounting year, what the company does? Company will transfer the royalty amount of rupees 32,000 in the year 1995 to the profit and loss account. That is why on the credit side, what journal entry is to be passed here? Profit and loss account is debited and the royalty account is credited. 1995, that is at the end of the year 1995, you write by profit and loss account, how much? 32,000. Now, you close this account, 32,000, 32,000. Next, landlord's account is also to be closed, rupees 50,000. Now, as I told you, short workings account is to be closed by writing the balance, by balance carried on Why? Because this amount of short working can be recovered in the next years. Because of that reason, here this one is to be taken as the balance in the next year. This is called as the closing balance of short workings in the year 1995. Time is there to recover these short workings, means the next 2 years time is there. Because of that reason, this balance we have to write here as opening balance for the next year. To balance brought down. What is the amount? Rupees 18,000. First year's journal entries are posted to the accounts. Next one is come to the second year. In the second year also short working is there. Again we have to pass the same journal entry. Royalty account is debited 1996 to landlord's account. What is the amount of actual royalty? 48,000. Here also we write to landlord's account. Rupees how much? 2,000. Royalty account is debited, short workings account is debited, and landlord's account is to be credited by royalty account. What is the amount here? Actual royalty is 48,000. Next one is by short workings account. Rupees how much? 2,000. Next step is for the payment of royalty amount. How much amount was paid in the second year? Again 50,000. That is why in the 1996, when the cash was paid to the landlord's account is debited and cash account is to be credited. Now account gets closed. Here 50,000 and 50,000. Balance the account. Next one is royalty account. As usual, we transfer at the end of the accounting year to the profit and loss account. That is why by P and L account with the amount of actual royalty 48,000. Now account gets closed. 48,000. And in case of short workings account, we make the total of rupees 20,000 and write this one as balance at the end of the accounting year. By balance carried on, rupees how much? 20,000. Why I am writing here this rupees 20,000 as balance? Because sufficient time is there. Still one more year is there in order to recover this short working amount. Okay, in the next year 1997, the same is to be taken as the opening balance. Balance brought down rupees 20,000. Second year's entries are posted. Next come to the third year. In the third year, recovery is there and also irrecovery is also there. Therefore, while passing the journal entries, you should be a little bit careful. Okay, first journal entry. You see here, actual royalty is more than the minimum rent. Question of short working account doesn't arise. That is why here royalty account is debited and landlord's account is credited. This is the first journal entry. In the year 1997, to landlord's account. What is the amount of actual royalty in the third year? 64,000. The same amount I write here 1996 by royalty account. Rupees 64,000. This is the entry when the royalty is payable. Next one is when the payment is made to the landlord. We are not going to pay rupees 64,000 to the landlord. Why? Because whatever the excess royalty is there, rupees 14,000, that we have recovered. You see here in the recovery column, 14,000 is recovered, and out of 18,000, 14,000 is recovered and 4,000 is the irrecovered. That is why whenever the recovery is made, in that case, what journal entry we need to pass? Landlord's account is to be debited and 1997 short workings account is credited. Short workings account. This is the recovery. How much? Rupees, not 18,000. This is 14,000, right? Okay. rupees 14,000 recovery. Next one is how much cash was paid to the landlord again in the third year, rupees 50,000. For that we write landlord's account is debited and cash account is to be credited 50,000. Now this account gets closed to 64,000. 64,000 ರೂಪಾಯಿ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಏನಾಗಬೇಕಾಗಿತ್ತು, ಲ್ಯಾಂಡ್ ಲಾರ್ಡ್ಗೆ ಕೊಡಬೇಕಾಗಿತ್ತು. ಆದ್ರೆ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಇಂಡಿಯನ್ ಕಂಪನಿ ಲ್ಯಾಂಡ್ ಲಾರ್ಡ್ಗೆ 64,000 ರೂಪಾಯಿ ಕೊಡ್ಲಿಲ್ಲ ಮೂರನೇ ವರ್ಷದಲ್ಲಿ. ಯಾಕಂತ ಹೇಳಿದ್ರೆ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಎಕ್ಸೆಸ್ ಅಮೌಂಟ್ ಇತ್ತು 14,000 ರೂಪಾಯಿ. ಆಮೇಲೆ ಮೊದಲನೇ ವರ್ಷದಲ್ಲಿ 18,000 ರೂಪಾಯಿ ಶಾರ್ಟ್ ವರ್ಕಿಂಗ್ ಇತ್ತು. ಈ ಶಾರ್ಟ್ ವರ್ಕಿಂಗ್ ನಲ್ಲಿ 14,000 ರೂಪಾಯಿಯನ್ನ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ರಿಕವರ್ ಮಾಡಿಕೊಂಡು ಏನ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ದಾರೆ, ಕಂಪನಿಯವರು 50,000 ರೂಪಾಯಿ ಲ್ಯಾಂಡ್ ಲಾರ್ಡ್ಗೆ ಕೊಟ್ಟಿದ್ದಾರೆ. ನಾವು here, royalty account is to be closed by transferring the balance to the profit and loss account as usual. By profit and loss account, what is the amount? 64,000. Close the account. 64,000. 64,000. Okay, now come to the short workings account. The total short working amount in the year 1997 means total balance was rupees 20,000. 20,000 in the sense this includes 18,000 as the short working of the first year and rupees 2,000 is the short working of the second year. Therefore, total amount of short working was rupees 20,000. But in this year, rupees 8, how much? 14,000 was recovered. You see here, landlord's account is debited and short workings account is credited. That is why 1997 I write here by landlord's account. By landlord's account, this is the amount of short workings recovered. 14,000 ರೂಪಾಯಿ ರಿಕವರಿ ಆಗಿದೆ. Out of 20,000, 14,000 is recovered. Now you see in the year 1997, 4,000 is treated as irrecovered because this is the last year to recover the short workings of the first year. Therefore, only 14,000 was the excess amount of royalty that was applied for the recovery of short workings of rupees 14,000, and the remaining balance of short workings amounting to rupees 4,000 is treated as loss, hence transferred to profit and loss account. Therefore, in the year 1997, we transfer this one to profit and loss account, rupees how much? 4,000. When there is irrecovered short working, that time we pass one journal entry, profit and loss account is debited and short workings account is credited. Now we close the account. Here you see rupees 20,000. Here we write rupees 20,000 and balancing figure we write by balance carried on. Out of 20,000, 18,000 got adjusted and the remaining balance of rupees 2,000 we write as the closing balance. That will become the opening balance for the year 1998. To balance brought down rupees 2,000. Okay, now come to the fourth year, 1998. In the year 1998, again actual royalty is more, deficiency is not there, short working is not there. Again we pass the same journal entry. Royalty account is debited and the landlord's account is credited with the amount of actual royalty, rupees 80,000. Rupees 80,000. Here I post this one to the landlord's account by royalty account. By royalty account, rupees how much? 80,000. Next one is when the payment is made, how much amount of cash was paid to the landlord? Rupees 78,000. Why? Because 2,000 is recovered. You see here rupees 2,000 is the amount which is shown in the recovery column. That is why when the short working is recovered, that we have to write on the opposite side here. 1998, you write to short workings account. To short workings account, rupees 2,000. That is the amount recovered from the landlord. Next one is to cash. Whatever cash is paid to cash account, rupees 78,000. Now this account is closed. 80,000 and this side also you write rupees 80,000. Next one is royalty account is to be closed by transferring the balance to P&L account with the amount of actual royalty 80,000 and close the account. Very simple thing is there. You see in the year 1998, the amount was recovered from the landlord. Therefore, I write here by landlord's account. By landlord's account, rupees how much? Rupees 2000. Now, there is no balance of short working. The total amount of short working was recovered. 2000 and 2000. And come to the fifth year. In the fifth year, strike was there. Therefore, actual royalty and minimum rent are same, because here actual royalty is taken as the minimum rent. Because of that reason, there is no short working as such. Now, the amount paid to the landlord also comes to rupees how much? 36,000. The same amount is to be given to the landlord. Therefore, here the journal entry is royalty account is debited to landlord's account 1999 to landlord's account with the amount of actual royalty rupees how much? Rupees 36,000. Here you transfer this one here only to the profit and loss account, P and L account, 36,000. Close the account, 36,000, and the same entry is required to be posted to the landlord's account. In the landlord's account, you write 1998 by royalty account to rupees 36,000. When cash is paid to the landlord, you write here 1999 to cash account. How much was paid? 36,000. You look to the last column in the table, 36,000 and 36,000. And the short workings account is already completed, because in the next years there is no short working. And come to the last this one year. In the last year, actual royalty is more than the minimum rent. Again, short working is not there. That is why what I do, I continue this account, royalty account here. One more year's entry is there. When the royalty amount is payable, what journal entry is to be passed? The year 2000. Royalty account is debited and the landlord's account is credited. Landlord's account with the amount of actual royalty 56,000, and you transfer it to profit and loss account at the end of this year by P and L account, rupees 56,000. Balance the account, 56,000 and 56,000. Close it. Next one is the same entry we have to make here. This is just to check the years. Okay. Next one is, this is 1999, right? 36,000 is there. Okay. Here you write by royalty account. By royalty account. What is the amount? Actual amount of royalty 56,000. When cash was paid in that year 56,000, you pass the entry landlord account to cash account, rupees 56,000. Close the account, 56,000 and rupees 56,000. Account is closed. Here this is 97. This is 97. Okay, fine. Next one is, this is 98. This is 99, 2000. Okay, this is the way how we have to prepare royalty chart and prepare the necessary accounts. Okay, dear students, I hope you understood the concept. If any doubt is there, you can send the message, and better share this video to your friends as well, so that they can also get the benefit of this. Okay, thank you.